You know, we train all walks of life here. It doesn't matter, all ages, sizes, experience level, you name it. So we'll work from anyone from older adults, post-rehab, physical therapy, any kind of release, surgery, all the way to young athletes. And so our goal with that is to get them better, no matter how.
It doesn't matter about size, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. All shapes and sizes. We're here to develop them and get them better than the day they first started, even if it's at an inch or a mile. It depends on that person. That's relative to them. So with young athletes, getting them into doing a combine setting, for older adults, just having them move better, their gaits better, to runners, making them run more efficiently, be stronger, faster, you know, you name it.
Do diet as well? You cover diet as well?
Everything's encompassed with training, and that's what I like to tell people a lot when they come to us. This is a one-stop shop for wellness. Our main objective here is to get people better. And from day one, we start with that process. When they come to us and they want us to help them out, we initially give them an assessment, and from there, figure out a plan of action to get them in the best shape or whatever their goals are going to be to get done. So from there, we try to always tailor a program that's completely specific to what their needs are as that individual. And for some, that might be walking better, running better, more efficiently. We work with everybody from older adults to young people trying to get an athletic program. So we do a lot of strength conditioning stuff. With us also comes nutrition, and this is a one-stop shop for wellness here, what we like to say that, because when you come to us, we don't want you to think about anything. We want it to be all taken care of for you, so that when you come to me and you're saying, I need help with this, I need help with this, it's all taken care of. Anything you need to know outside of here, we're going to do. Anything while you're doing with us, we're going to explain how to do it. We like people to be inquisitive because we can answer their questions, tell them exactly what they need to do and why they need to do it. With their nutrition comes that as well. So literally, it's all taken care of. And that's what you're really getting when you work with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's a big difference because I've talked to people. Everybody's like, just do this and do that. But then I honestly didn't have a clue what to do afterwards.
Yeah.
Like the food, the nutrition. You told me 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You gave me a general idea of what I needed to maintain. You didn't just say stop eating completely.
Yeah.
You just said give me 3 weeks.
Yeah, what I like to do with people is, initially when they start with us, give us some homework. It's a little bit to overload them with all this information at first. So when we first meet and have this assessment, we'll sit and talk about their goals, what those goals are, and then from there, when I start designing the program that's specifically designed for them, along the way I'll give them some homework, so I don't overload them with too much information. So along with the diet comes that, because if you throw everything at somebody at once, they don't always respond that well to it. So if I can initially just give them baby steps to get them into that, we usually have a huge response rate and retention rate because of that. So, and that's another thing that goes with it. You know, we're here to establish relationships with people, because ultimately it's the only thing that's going to allow them to succeed is if they believe in us, we believe in them, and they trust us that we know what we're doing. That's kind of where our backgrounds in exercise science come in play, and we pride ourselves with that and 10 years of experience doing this with everybody, because it allows them to trust me to help them get them where they want to get. So with that, we also take it very seriously with our athletes, with everybody, of assessing what their needs are. If I see a kid and he can't even barely move when he's coming in, you know, we're going to start from the ground up. We're going to make sure he's mobile and that he's strong, and we'll get him from there. So a lot of our workouts are designed to warm them up initially, get their core going. We do a lot of tissue prep with them, and then from there get them into their programs. But along the way, we're going to do this the right way. A lot of times in strength and conditioning facilities, you see a lot of kids just getting wrecked and they're sweating, and that's what the parents like to see. And what we want to do here is show that how they're getting much better. And anyone can make anybody sweat, but can you make them better? Can you develop them as an athlete and consistently see them get better in order to succeed? So with that comes all of their warm-up stuff, all their strength stuff, their protocols. We test everybody on all that stuff, and that goes across the board with special pops, everyone. Along the way, we assess them, we see where they're at, where they want to go, and if they're getting there along the way.
Me and Adam met in college. We was in undergrad together, starting in probably 05, 06. Just happened to be in a class, sat beside of each other, and kind of turned into group project partners. And we knew kind of if we were in a class that had to have a group project, I would look at him and he would look at me, and we would just do it together because we knew it was going to get done if that was the case. And I guess it kind of grew from there. You say?
Yeah. I mean, we knew kind of where we wanted our direction to be at. We just didn't quite know the niche. I think we were both kind of involved in exercise, fitness, exercise science department. So we were kind of looking for kind of that next step with it. And Bear was training in another town. I was out here, and he ended up coming to another gym, and kind of just joined forces from there, and that's where TriFit kind of emerged.
Yeah, we always knew that we wanted to, push a name of a fitness company, not our names, because you can have much more outreach in the community if you're marketing a team of people instead of Adam and Barry Fitness. So that's why we kind of come up with the Tri-Fit name and try to only hire people that we would want our sons or our mothers training with. We don't want to hire people that are just here for no reason. We want to hire people that's going to change people's lives, and I think that's the background that makes us a little different than some groups. We've really grown from two guys that just trying to make a living to transferring it into a company, a real company. And I don't know if it's something that you or I either. I know we imagined it, but it's not something that we went in going, okay, we're going to form this, and this is a master plan. It was just synergy of us doing the same kind of stuff and just letting it grow from there.
From that, I think came that people saw that. They saw people getting better. They saw the retention of all our clients and how they felt with training with us. And then from there, that demand came pretty quickly. So amongst that, we just tried to grow as a unit. And I think we pride ourselves with all our trainers having specialized in certain areas, but all having exercise science backgrounds as well. Really helped set us apart from a lot of people. Now we're able to conduct personal training, nutritional coaching, boot camps, one-on-ones, group settings to strength and conditioning, young and middle-aged, adult athletes. Now we've got a couple of Division I athletes as well that we've coached the process of it that started with us when they were, young kids. So that helps when we have people that develop relationships with us and they trust us. And once that happens, I think you really see someone succeed along the way, because you're not just in there to make them sweat and die. It's more to that than just anyone can do that to somebody. It's can you make them better and progress them as an individual. From that, it's allowed us to grow as well across the city, and we've had a couple different satellite offices and different settings, so that it's not just in one set location.
A lot of times it feeds on itself too, because if you have a relationship with a 73-year-old aging man that just wants to be better and keep up with his grandkids, and he trusts you, and then somebody else in your team has a specialization in something else, who do you think he's going to recommend somebody to go to? Because it's all about a trust issue when it comes to exercise science or aging population, athletes, whatever it is, especially when it comes to kids too. If people trust you with their kids, they'll trust you with anything. So we take stuff like that serious and really want to show that not only we're trying to make their kids better, but the main thing is we're trying to make sure nobody gets hurt, because in the end, a lot of times what we tell our kids and some of our other people, you really can't get better unless you're healthy. So health is the number one option, no matter what. If you're trying to play football or you're, 68 years old wanting to be able to have a better gait and your low back not hurt. Health is the key in everything. And strength and everything helps that, but health is still the key.
I think too with us, we've been training over a decade now, so you kind of learn the ins and outs of a lot of that stuff. And initially you're kind of like, what's this all about? And along the way you just learn more about it. Individual comes to me and wants to feel better. Middle-aged man, he's tired, doesn't get good sleep, eats pretty bad, doesn't hardly train. My goal is to make him better. If I can just get him to sleep better, I've already knocked out half of it right there. So once along the way you start teaching the people, okay, with sleep comes hormone regulation, which we know all falls off after middle age. So, along the way it starts snowballing. Then they start eating better, they have less fluctuations in their blood sugar. Then they start strength training, they start feeling better, they're more mobile. And then from there it just kind of, piggyback on top of it to where those are the natural ways of natural remedies, I guess, to make someone feel better.
Yeah. And then supplements for me, I'm short and sweet when it comes to supplements and diet. I think the natural is the best way to go. Supplement is, in the root word of it, a supplement. If you're doing what you should do, you shouldn't have to have a supplement. So, that's where it comes down between lifestyles. If you can afford good food, if you can afford to, cook your own food, there should be no reason for any kind of supplement. But, there is some people in lifestyles where you're on the go all the time, and a protein shake or something like that might not be the worst thing in the world for you, but that's just kind of something that they got to figure out in their own lifestyle. I'm not ever going to push that kind of stuff, but if they want the information, I can give it to them. But I've never been one of these people that's a one-stop shop for all of these pills and different stuff. Caffeine and coffee and then some good fruit and stuff and protein is about all you need. People,
Emphasis on the coffee.
Emphasis on the coffee. Got to have the coffee.
We love our caffeine here.
But that another way, that's a little rabbit hole. I think a lot of times in fitness in general, people, it's kind of a lot like golf. I compare it to. Everybody wants to get rich quick or the get my golf swing straight overnight, fitness, let me take this, do this quick. Nothing comes quickly. It's just like chopping wood. Once you chop wood long enough, it's easy to chop wood. And you just got to cut the tree down and go on.